Good afternoon, market minds. Welcome, everybody. You have Howard Greenberg here. Scott Bauer will be in a few minutes. He's on his way. Hope everyone's having a great start to your day. Let's share our screen here. Why is it not doing that? There it goes. So everybody, before we start, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me that you like my shirt here. I told you so in Bitcoin. I think that everybody should know that I've been saying that for years. How is everybody doing? Robert, Zora, Roger, see you guys in the chat. Hope everybody is doing well. Awesome, awesome. So I am here to talk a little bit about Aladdin, what's going on, my friend? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Julia Day, hope all is well. Everybody's in there. Love to see you guys. Crypto week, a lot going on here for sure. Marilyn, great to see you too. A lot going on in the world of crypto. As everyone probably has seen, price of Bitcoin hit an all-time high, got up as high as 123,000. Steve, nice to see you too. And doesn't look like it wants to stop. We've got a little bit of a pullback here, but I'll give you my takeaway is this is nothing more than a blip on its way up towards 130. So I am still bullish. We actually got into a couple of longs in the crypto room today, one on Bitcoin mining company Cores, and then also on Aero Finance. So crypto week, what am I talking about too is we just broke 120K for the first time. And as I said, oh yeah, my new shirt. As I mentioned to everybody, it doesn't look like it wants to stop. Bitcoin is pretty healthy on-chain metrics. What we did not see was a huge explosion of liquidations to get us to this spot, did we? It just sort of climbed its way up. In fact, the last real large amount of liquidations was back last Thursday, I want to say. If we look at the hourly chart, we get a little bit of a better view there, and you can see that that real spike, last spike up in a 1 hour liquidation form was back on Thursday about 5 p.m. Otherwise, we have marched up in an orderly fashion to where we are so far. And again, look like we're poised to continue higher. Part of the reason for that, or why should investors care, is it's a big week because we have two bills that are both going through different stages in the House and the Senate. And they are both set to clear up two of the biggest areas of issues when it comes to regulatory landscape for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies on a bigger format. The first one is one of the few things that we've seen actually get through this divided Senate and House recently with bilateral support is the Genius Act. And the Genius Act is otherwise, you just understand it deals with stable coins, those crypto products that are linked, between crypto and the regular world of finance. So these are coins that are meant to mimic the US dollar or to represent the US dollar. The company behind the US's largest one is Circle, and you've probably seen the immense attraction that has had since its IPO. But we have seen this already pass both the Senate and the House through their committees and through their initial approval process. And now the bills are going back to be signed into law. And as it says, the Genius Act, which is short for Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for the U.S. Stablecoin Act, sets the guardrails for the industry. It includes making sure that we don't run into the problems that we saw back in the days of algorithmic stablecoins like Terra Luna. And these are meant to be fully backed by U.S. reserves. And one thing I want to mention is one of the reasons that this is moving by so quickly and has bipartisan representation and support is that some of the largest holders of U.S. short-term treasuries nowadays are these stablecoin companies, Circle and Tether. And our Secretary of Treasury, Secretary Bessent, has made it very clear that he feels that it's a multi-trillion-dollar liquidity gap that can be filled through the use of stable coins, allowing for regular US everyday retail investors to be able to get access to treasuries, to short-term US treasuries. So the Genius Act, this has already gone, this is literally at the goalpost. So this has already gone through committee. It's already been voted by the full House and the full Senate. It passed the bill stage, and now it's at the stage where it goes through its final little housekeeping memos, and is very set to be turned into law and go to the president's desk to be signed. And we should see that over the next upcoming weeks. When it comes to this, it's also important because it sets the stage for JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo to jump into the world of stablecoins. And you've probably already seen some of these announcements in the news of these companies that are looking to do that. Thank you, Zora. Absolutely. Make sure you're hitting the like button, the subscribe button, all of that stuff. You like that, Rafi? I love it. I love it. So very important in the world of crypto is stable coins. It is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And if you look, quite honestly, at the largest coins, Tether is the 4th largest coin by market cap. And right now, that stable coin alone is $159 billion. And USDC comes in just about $64 billion. So combined, almost $250 billion just between the two largest. And that's before the banks really start to get involved. But it is not only going to open up that, it's going to open up the ability for stable coins to provide a way for money and value to be transferred across the globe in a very quick and a very instant and very low cost way. So that's really what's big about the Genius Act. And this one's very close to the finish line, as I said. The second one is the Clarity Act. And this one's a little bit further down the road, but it again has bipartisan support. Those that know, I know I am also the founder of the ABCA, the American Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Association, and we are working with the Committee on Digital Assets. That is a subcommittee under the Banking Committee that is working on this right now. They are really doing a good job of being thoughtful in how they are presenting this so that it protects consumers. It allows a way forward for companies that quite honestly left the US under the last administration because they didn't have regulatory certainty. And what we've also seen, and hey, there he is. Scott Bauer is in the room. Welcome in, Mr. Bauer. How are we doing today?
What's up, boss?
All right. Everything is great. And what you're going to see is, and we saw it today, Ondo Finance, one of the companies that we have talked about. Hey, Paul, hope all is well. We get your test there. Ondo Finance, one of the companies that's working already with BlackRock on real world asset tokenization and tokenization of their treasury funds, is already purchased a broker dealer that today it was announced. So what we're seeing again is more and more of these crypto companies that are getting into bed with or purchasing already existing broker dealers, people that deal with the SEC. We already saw that under the last administration. A lot of them got into the world of CFTC regulated futures companies, and they're already happening, right? Robinhood announced that their futures are launching. We know that Coinbase has futures already, and Kraken has announced that they're getting into that world. So we're seeing that. And what it really does, in what I've seen from my world of ABCA, is it has reinforced American leadership in global finance. We're seeing them come back on board. I've talked to a couple of hedge funds and other family offices that are based in Dubai, and they're all setting up US-based offices to really, capture what is happening here in the US. So very exciting to see everything that's moving forward. And you can see it in crypto. The result has been what the price move on crypto over the past week or 12 days for sure.
This is nuts.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop. I mean, and as I said, for me, Bitcoin, I think it has room to 130. A lot of room to 130 pretty easily. And I saw Katie Stockton said 134 today.
Wow. But then what happens? So,
then just to pull back at that stage. So I'd have a question for you, Scott. There's a lot of talk that the reason it's going to stall out here in this 120 to 30 is the gamma involved, that the institutions that are buying the futures have purchased a lot of them in between 120 and 130, so that they're set to sort of set that trading range like we saw play out for a long time in between that 105 and 110 level. So I'm seeing a lot of talk about that we're going to see a lot of buy the dip at 120, a lot of sell the rip at that 130 level.
I mean, that's very possible. I would have to look like on Deribit and some of the other exchanges and see what the option volume is. I know, because I saw an article over the weekend, that there's a lot of 130,000 strike calls that are open. So when you talk about the gamma, that's probably what it is referring to, because as we get closer and closer to that 130, people that are short those 130,000 strike calls, they've got to start running the cover. It's not unlike what we saw with GME, AMC, when there'd be all this upside call buying for some of those names, and then all of a sudden there would be short covering. So it's not unlike that.
Right. And that seems to be the setup, quite honestly. And what we haven't seen yet is the huge liquidation spike. As I pointed out, the last big hourly spike was last Thursday. So we haven't seen that push it. This has been very sustainable. And, what I would point to is it's simple supply and demand. 6 months ago now, 8 months ago, we had the Bitcoin halving, when the amount of Bitcoin that's supplied every day got cut in half. And what we've now seen is all of these Bitcoin treasury companies popping up one after another. And them and attached to the ETF are buying all of the available Bitcoin. And the big change structurally that we saw recently was we had seen some OG whales that were willing to sell into that. And every time we were hitting, they were willing to sell at that 110 level. And what we've seen now is they're not willing to sell. They pulled their orders off, and they're being accumulators now. Wow. So again, we're seeing that difference in the structure where the ETF's still demanding all that new supply, and you don't have the old supply being handed over to them.
Well, I'm looking at something here, and I want to let everybody know. So in the OpVol room, and I know in Howard's crypto room today, he actually put out a signal in a crypto-related stock, CORZ. So the reason I put that out this morning, everybody, is because Howard alerted me to it. So we always talk how the coaches are all working together here. Sometimes Mike will see something and Mike and I will put it out, or I'll say something and Charlie will put it out, and Howard. So here is, just for everybody out there, just so you know, this is, this is what you get here, is all of us working together. So Howard had alerted us to this CORZ. In fact, Howard is the one that came up with that call spread and asked me, he's like, Scott, what do you think about that? And I looked at it and I said, from a reward to risk standpoint, it looks great. And if you feel that this is an upside play, you're the crypto guy, I'm in. So we put that out. We bought that at 75 cents. It's trading like $1.05 right now.
Yeah, up almost 40% so far just today. And I will say that is one thing, is keep in mind, first of all, the interaction, like you said, I talk to Charlie pretty much every morning. We talk 24/7 in our coaches room, all of us back and forth about everything, and bounce it off of each other because of that. And because that, the crypto industry or the crypto related stocks are growing by the day. Now you have Circle, now you have BMNR, you have SharpLink, you have some of the biggest, most volatile movers in the stock market have quite honestly been crypto names in the last few weeks. So being able to know which ones, might play off each other really help us for it. And it goes to, again, why this supply and demand, why it's now the time to get into crypto, really is because all of this playing together is what you're seeing is the interaction. And you're only seeing the first inning, so to speak, of the connection between TradFi and the world of crypto that I call DeFi. In fact, today, Aave, which is the largest lending and borrowing platform in crypto, just if you compared it to banks, as of today, would be the 47th largest bank in the United States, larger than Barclays and Deutsche Bank when it comes to money under management that they have available for lending and borrowing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if you had told me that 5 years ago when I was first buying Aave, I would have said you're crazy. But that's what's coming. One of the reasons I'm here today is to tell you guys we have a great webinar. Those that have been following Prosper for a couple of years know that Charlie Moon and I used to have a podcast, and we're thinking about restarting it, Dips to Rips. And the first episode, so to speak, is going to be a webinar tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We're going to talk about, crypto, Bitcoin. I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint or a pre-fuel. We're going to talk about one of my favorite new altcoins out there that falls into the world of AI. And Charlie's going to bring us up to speed on what's happening in the world of AI and how you can use it to help fine tune your investing.
If I'm not mistaken, too, you guys are going to be in our office live
we will be together at Prosper in Chicago. We have a great time together. You guys will see that we play off each other very well. Him and I use a lot of the same indicators, a lot of the same technical analysis to do our investing, so it works out well, and we have a lot of the same likes and dislikes when it comes to companies and people in the companies. So we'll make fun of Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett, and we'll talk about them and everything going on in the world of crypto. So make sure you get yourself signed up for this. Everybody, make sure you are hitting the like button, the share button, the follow button. Market Minds, we bring you the best every day insights into what's going on with the market. Aladdin, I love it. I know you've been here since 2021. I love it, buddy.
That's right. And tomorrow, guys, so we have, not to take away from this, we'll get right back to Howard. And Howard, while I'm talking, will you go to the next slide so you can give everybody the word?
Absolutely.
Please. There we go. Make it easy today. It's crypto. Thor says crypto. Tomorrow starts our fly-in week. So it's crypto week, and we have a fly-in week. And we've got about a dozen students that are flying in today to Chicago to work with all of the coaches for the next 3 days. Tomorrow's Market Minds, I will be down on the trading floor in the S&P 500 pit. And we will have some of the coaches with me. We might even have some of our students with us. So you got to make sure that tomorrow you log in as well, because it's going to be a very, very fun one tomorrow. Going back to one of the things Howard was talking about, can you go back to, I always call it CBD, but it's not CBD. One or two slides. Yeah, CBDC. I don't truly understand what this one was. And I know there is regulation for and there's regulation against it, right?
Right. So CBDC will never happen in the US. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been saying it for 5-6 years. And that has been under every administration. And part of the reason is that the surveillance that comes with the CBDC, but also with the fact that CBDC stands for central bank digital currency. And we know China has one. There are many out there. The Bahamas actually has one. The EU is talking about doing one. But every administration in both sides of the aisle don't like it in the US for a couple of reasons. And one of the reasons is the way that the US can continue to be the world's #1 currency is by not having a CBDC and allowing for stable coins to flourish in the US. And the reason is it means that somebody in Brazil can hold Tether, can hold USDC, can hold these coins legally. Sometimes they are not allowed by their governments to hold foreign currencies. Because these are stable coins, they don't fall into those rulings, and it actually allows access, and it's where we really get the first sort of foray into crypto for a lot of people in emerging markets. Really comes from holding stable coins as a way to hold off the triple digit inflation that some countries like Venezuela, Brazil, Cuba have seen in the past.
So is this something that is going to pass or is not?
Not. There will never be a CBDC, so there won't ever be one. This regulation is meant to allow it to be privatized, basically, in the U.S. It's saying we don't need to have the Federal Reserve have a digital currency where they could see that Scott and Howard went to Starbucks today and spent $3.50 on a cup of coffee. That is where it, and that's where it really comes. And Robert, you just nailed it. XRP and XLM just led this charge, Robert. I thought I would never say that in my life.
RDB.
XLM, which I'm not against. Don't get me wrong. XLM is not something I've ever been negative on, but XLM in our crypto room is what I used as the first indicator that we were running into our next all-time high on Bitcoin. It took off before everything else. Open interest, everything took off on news there that XLM was starting to work with some of the TradFi companies, and it led us into this run. Yeah, if I bring up my trading view, I can show you.
I'm just curious, and Howard, I don't know, maybe you asked earlier. I'm just curious. I don't want anybody to disclose what they have or how much they have, but how many of you have something in crypto, either that you've just been holding, or how many of you are actively trading in the crypto space? I'm just curious.
Absolutely.
Wow, Zora, we know about you. Way to go, Zora. Okay.
There you go, Stephen, everybody.
Wow.
Alonzo, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Roger, of course. Julia, of course. Nice. John, I know that. Absolutely. Hodling some Bitcoin.
Howard, did you touch on, I don't know, I just saw a headline today that someone that bought 15,000 Bitcoin at $14,000 back in 2014 sold it today or yesterday?
Moved it to an exchange, did not sell it yet. And moved the wallet became active. So what we're seeing is some wallets become active that hadn't been active in a long time. And that, like I said, is the difference that we saw over the last week or so, 2 weeks, has been that long-term holders of Bitcoin and Bitcoin whales had been selling, which was, allowing these ETFs that you just talked about there to buy up all this Bitcoin without the price really moving up tremendously. That's what stopped happening last week. And what we've seen is that change. As I pointed out, XLM, while I was on vacation, I told everybody to watch for it to break 36 off of this break of the 200-day MA, and it moved all the way up to 60. So,
vacation more often.
Yeah, that's what everyone in my room said. They all want me to go back on vacation, Scott.
Well, you got to get on the road soon, right? Howard is making the drive to Chicago later today for our fly-in students for the rest of the week. So hopefully traffic is not too bad for you.
Yeah, well, where I'm coming from, it won't be too bad. Well, I'm going to go through the middle of Indiana. I don't think there's much there. You would know from taking the kids to school all the time.
Yeah, hopefully I-65 there is not too bad. Should be. I mean, the weather is beautiful and clear here in Chi-Town. So
again, I want to remind everybody, if you want into the swag giveaway, you got to hit crypto into the thing.
Listen, if we get dips to rips going again, I think we're going to have some dips to rips swag also. What does everybody think about that?
I'm in for it, and Charlie is. DC Hondo flew. You're right, and Ohio Hondo died. I love it, Roger. You are right. Kevin, so if you're talking about like my wish list price for Bitcoin, I've moved it up to 108 right now. So those that know me know I always have a little bit of money put in for those liquidation events that happen when I'm asleep. And right now I've moved that up from 102K back up to 108. I don't think you're gonna get many more chances to buy Bitcoin under 100,000.
Howard, is that because that's where that the recent consolidation?
Yeah, 200-day MA is at 97 and moving up, and we're just starting to see you're going to have those buyers. you're putting the room there. You know what I mean? Is you're giving it that good 10% downside still. You know what I mean? 10 to 20% pullback, and we don't see them anymore in Bitcoin. There's too much institutional money that doesn't allow those liquidations to happen. You know what has happened is as these ETFs have come about and options have come about and all these other things have really developed, as we just talked about, you know, you start to look at this data and you see the really big pockets that now are there. And right now it's now at like 113 even, I would say, is about as low as I see Bitcoin on a pullback right now.
Have your bids in, folks. Have
Yeah.
your bids in. And one more question I have for you, Howard. I know you touched on Coinbase listing options at some point. Is there a timeline on that?
Yeah, next 6 months. I mean, they're in the fast track to it. They're already in negotiate. You know, they're talking to CFTC. It's a matter of, you know, they've already announced it, so it's usually within 2 or 3 months of that. And they will have full perps, options, everything.
That's unbelievable, because right now it is a little bit cumbersome, I would say, to trade Bitcoin or Ethereum options at the CME on futures. It's a bit cumbersome, and I know there are some other exchanges like Deribit and whatever, but if it was mainstream like on a Coinbase, man, would that explode.
Yeah, I mean, Coinbase and Robinhood are in a battle for supremacy of trading at this point. You know, it really is come down to that, you know, where if, you know, that's why you've seen Schwab so quickly decide to add crypto, right? They sort of said it 6 months ago, yeah, we'll look at it. Now it's like, we're in, because otherwise, you know, you're going to lose that. The moat is going to get too big for these other companies. You know, to me, it's going to be Robinhood's going to be the big one to watch, because they are this dominant, you know, they're a dominant player in the stock market, which is such a bigger market. So Coinbase is going to have to develop that whole following, and people trust them as a stock dealer, broker, or whatever you want to call it. Whereas Robinhood, they already do. Robinhood, it's about the fact that they're going to get futures and the perpetual futures.
Yeah, Robinhood obviously has been just gangbusters. That stock, and quite frankly, the platform was kind of left for dead a year ago, 9 months ago, and this is just unbelievable. Question for those of you that are not in Howard's room, who would be planning on attending tomorrow night's Howard and Charlie Crypto AI Webby. How many of you think you're going to be there tomorrow night? Okay. Okay. If, okay, you want an additional, and I'm doing this on the fly right now, guys, because you know the Webby's going to be great tomorrow night. And yes, at the end, you know that, you know, we're going to offer you a great package on a room with Howard and with Charlie. But if anybody wants to find out more right now and get an additional discount, I am going to post up a phone number right now, because I just pinged my team right here. Oh, Michael Clark, you got it. There we go. Anybody that wants to get more info for tomorrow night, there's a phone number for you, everybody. We are so excited to bring these two back together tomorrow night. Those of you that have been here for a while, as Howard mentioned, you know that Howard and Charlie have, you know, they get it. They sync with one another, and they are so much fun to listen to, but also you get so much value from listening to them. And so tomorrow night should be an absolute blowout. But there's a phone number if anybody wants to get more information about that and talk to anybody about a special ahead of the special. So there is the wheel. Howard, I think can you grab it, or do you want me to grab it?
I don't know how to do it, so I'm going to need you.
I'm going to grab it then. Okay, hang on one sec.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It is all good. Let's get my present here. Share screen. So you guys, this is all in real time, right? This is real stuff. There we go. All right. The dynamic duo. Oh, Zora. The dynamic duo. I think Burt Ward and Adam West might have issue with that. But weren't they a dynamic duo? Batman and Robin?
Absolutely.
All right, guys, here we go. First one of the week. Crypto Week special wheel. Here we go. Winner is David Roberts or DMP. David Roberts, are you in the house? David Roberts, are you still here? Let us know. Come on, David. Ooh, I think I just got filled in Autodesk. David Roberts, we're going to give you, yeah, exactly, Steven. Uh-oh. We're going to give David 10 seconds, and then we're going back to the wheel here. Boy, on a Monday for this to happen, that's a travesty. David, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're moving on. Watch, I'm going to go to the wheel, and he's going to pop up here. David Roberts. Bye-bye. Okay. Here we go. Let's give it another whirl here, folks. Todd, Tom again.
Tom,
you won last week, but that's okay. It's a new week. Tom, are you still here?
Tom's always around.
Tom is everywhere.
He's in every room always.
You look behind you, Tom.
Julie, I'm with you. Tom wins all the time.
I think Tom is.
He is here. There he is.
Of course you are. But you know what? It's crypto week. I'm in a great mood right now, and Tom always wins. So Tom's gonna win again, but we're also gonna spin one more time.
I love it.
Let's do it.
Aladdin thinks it's rigged.
Oh no, Zora or Paul?
Oh, Paul!
Oh, Zora.
I know who that is too. My man in Wakefield, Mass.
You were a Wheaties away.
Is Paul sometimes is on business calls, so he might not answer here. You want to look for him.
Oh, David Roberts, I see your LOL. Did you know you actually won, David? Looking for you. This is going to be up to the viewing public right now. What do you guys think? David's about 4 minutes late. Should we still give him some swag? Paul is here. Wonderful. This could be a triple swag day if all of you think that David should get it.
He came back strong. He's here.
Oh, that's the wrong Paul, not Paul August.
Oh.
Not Paul August? No, it's not. Paul? You're right. It is a different Paul. Yes, for David. Give it to him. Oh, we got nice people here. That's karma, guys. That's called karma. Okay. Yeah. David Roberts, you're in. How about Paul? Just Paul. Plain Paul.
Just Paul, not Paul H.
Just plain Paul. Not Paul H, not Paul August, not Paul K. Just plain Paul. Are you here? Yeah,
sorry, Paul.
Oh man, I don't know if we're making people happy or pissing people off.
Happy or mad, I know.
All right, plain Paul, you're about to be out. I guess we're gonna have to go back to the wheel. Oh, one more time. Plain Paul is out. David, we got you. We got you. You must be on a delay, would be my guess. Plain Paul is out. We're spinning. Big spin, please, Gene says. Okay. Robert or Rocky Mountain back in the house. I know Rocky Mountain. I know Rocky Mountain is here, but let's get the confirmation. It is a triple header crypto week Monday on the wheel. If Chainsaw does not respond, we are not spinning again. I'm getting dizzy from watching the wheel go around.
No, Rocky Mountain came up. Heck yes, they said.
Oh, heck yes. There we go. Beautiful. All right.
There you go. Like crypto week. I'm glad to hear it, Rocky.
That's perfect. That's perfect. All right. Winners, you know what to do. Send us an email. Howard, you are the GOAT. I appreciate you.
Thank
I
you,
look forward
boss.
to see you in person tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow.
And everybody, don't forget Howard and Charlie tomorrow night.
Scott, did you see the shirt, by the way?
I saw you posted it this morning. Yes, you did. Yes, you did tell all of us. You told all of us. All right, everybody. Have a great day.
You're welcome, everyone. Have a great one.
See y'all tomorrow.